my IG, like I can still film on this too.
Good call.
I gotta bootleg. I gotta jump off of her light because hi guys, because look, this is perfect. This is that good? That height too?
Yeah.
It's good on both of them. How is that possible? Dang. Oh. I should be going live from Cloud Culture's page, really. But this one broke his phone.
Well,
so.
we can always chop it up into a bunch of, and
Yeah,
send it.
it's okay. All right,
I think this will be better to do it this way anyway.
Okay. Hey, everybody, we're live from Root City, Cava. I don't have the time to put this in here.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. It's okay. It's okay.
You gonna be the man behind the tea?
Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Hey guys. I don't know if anyone even comes on.
Yeah.
I'm blind as a bat. I cannot see, so there's that. There's that. I just thought about that too. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we will not be able to handle chats.
We won't be able to handle live chat. So
or live streaming.
or live anything right now. We're just okay. So
all right,
go on ahead, boss.
So this is a live recording of Getting Personal with Plant Medicine podcast, and today I am joined once again by the amazing Tashiana, the Sun Goddess, aka Tosh, right?
For sure.
And then we have Cloud from Cloud Culture
over here.
Love.
We have him hidden behind the hibiscus, guys.
Yes, he's the man behind the hibiscus. And this hibiscus is here because it's the star of the show, really, today.
It is. It's a hibiscus lemonade, packed with all wonderful limonene profile. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Right, because today we're talking about terpenes. And in case you don't know, terpenes are the naturally occurring chemical compounds found in plants and animals that are responsible for smells and tastes. Like, I always use lavender as an example because it's a very obvious one. The terpenes are terping in that one. Yes. Linalool. But today we're focusing more on limonene, however you want to say it. Yeah. So limonene is naturally occurring in citrus rinds.
Correct.
What else? What else?
It is naturally occurring in various herbs as well, like lemon balm, lemongrass. Believe it or not, it has a small profile in ginger.
And it's actually a pinene.
Yes.
Terpene. Or it comes from pinene. It's a part of pinene.
It's like a derivative.
It's a derivative, but it's still part of the citrus family. Yeah. So we still have lemons, limes. We also have blood oranges. We also have oranges.
Believe it or not, even mint has a slight limonene profile as well. That's, I don't even want to say slight. It's kind of significant, actually. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Tosh, we recently recorded an episode about mental health, and she came up with a lot of different plants and herbs that help people who are struggling with anxiety, depression, or just somebody might need a lift, a little uplift. Terpenes are great for that. So, yes. Can you talk about a little bit how limonene,
well, it's however you want to say it.
Yeah, but I'm one of those people that if I hear someone else pronounce it, it will get in my head, and I'm like, am I saying it wrong? I've been saying it wrong my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about me. So let's talk about how limonene, how it can improve your mental health once you figure out how to say it.
Yeah, I think I touched on it briefly in upcoming episode
Yes.
that's not aired, but you guys will get a touch of it there.
Mm-hmm.
Limonene is an incredible terpene for helping with depression. It's an antidepressant. It is going to be a stress reliever. It also helps reduce anxiety in the body, and it promotes a lot of mental clarity. So if you are someone that suffers from depression, especially believe it or not, it's a great help for seasonal depression. It's one of my favorites because limonene obviously has. I feel like this is a question that I'm leading into that you're going to ask, but it has a solar plexus association. Okay, so it is going to help bring renewing, like an energy renewal, a lot like hibiscus.
Oh, okay.
So similar.
And you do have lemon in there as well,
Correct.
right?
Which is why I usually do pair those two together, hibiscus along with like the lemonade, because of how uplifting and renewing it is. It's a great like antidepressant, anti-stress, anti-anxiety drink.
All year round.
Yes, it is incredible for that.
And
incredible.
You sell it. So we're not selling it today.
We're not selling it today, but we do have some if you guys want to come get some. We're not selling it today, but it is typically sold. You guys have to catch me at an event. Catch me if you can, really.
Seriously, because there's free cookies as well for people who want to show up while we're still here.
She's a great baker, okay? I'm telling you.
I wanted to create a multi-sensory experience, but, if you're not here, you can't
get it. If you're not here, you can't receive it.
We can't do smell-o-vision.
Exactly. Although a lot of this, and we probably will touch on some of the beverages we have here in front of us, because a lot of these too are going to kind of fall into that minds anyway.
We're not going to go deep into. Oh, this one I can't even explain it to you. It has kombucha, elderberry.
Ooh.
But this is another reason why you should come to Root City, because it's a great place to find out about terpenes in your drinks without becoming inebriated.
Yes.
This one has maca root in it, so.
Yes. And I do want to talk, because a lot of people think terpenes like only can be found in a specific substance. That is not true. Terpenes actually are occurring in plants, trees, resins,
animals,
fruits, that too. So herbs, of course. So there's a lot of natural sources for it. But back to the mental health aspect.
I mean, there are. Yeah, we should probably make it clear that there are a ton of terpenes, like a ton, and we're only focusing on limonene today because we are just so obsessed with it, and because we made things that boost it. And honestly, you can give yourself kind of an entourage effect, which we'll just briefly talk about here. An entourage effect is when you have basically the perfect combination of cannabinoids and terpenes for yourself to experience whatever it is you're wanting to experience.
Correct.
I also like to kind of compare it to a multi-sensory experience, because that's how I feel like an entourage effect really envelops you, right? Like if you are using a cannabis strain that's high in limonene, or anyway, you can emphasize that by like maybe lighting some citrus,
aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy is a big way to give yourself kind of that multi-sensory. I call it entourage effect. I know that's not the exact way that it is applied,
but a multi-sensory experience.
That's how I feel like, okay, maybe I can eat something that will amplify the effect. I can smell something. Maybe if I'm taking a bath at the same time, because some people like to smoke while they're taking a bath. They can have some hibiscus flowers in their bath, because we talked about that in our hibiscus
which is great for opening up pathways in your body. So if you are smoking and you take a hibiscus bath or drink hibiscus or limonene, it will really help to open you up. It's a cleanse. It removes stagnancy, so it helps everything flow really clearly through your body.
And even on like a creative level, for me, it does that. I feel like just mentally it does that. And
it's the solar plexus aspect, because the solar plexus is going to be your creativity, your determination, your willpower. And you're a Leo, so like me. So
and also I got to try a couple of your amazing strains that are very strong in limonene. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, because you recently published a fantastic guide on Substack for your Cloud Culture members about this very terpene. So can you talk a little bit about the living soil connection?
Great question.
You'll love
peace
this.
and love, family. Cloud. I just want to come back to the question though.
Okay.
You have to really understand and understand that unless you're growing in living soil, all organic, you are not able to receive any of the medical benefits. You pretty much have to put that into consideration because cultivating in synthetics, you're not going to be able to consume or
Correct.
receive any of the medical benefits those individual terpenes or cannabinoids. Okay. Now, coming back to your question, Diana, which is a great question because if you are cultivating in living soil, which a lot of most of us are, even some of us, we're actually able to develop and learn that we're able to not only enhance the terpenes, but we're also able to receive different enhanced or more like different cannabinoids that can pretty much different terpenes that we can get readily available through the living soil so that we can be able to replicate and make different terpenes. And it's just honestly a beautiful thing because when we do grow with living soil, we pretty much are so organic to where we actually are pHing down with lemons so that we can
Wow.
be able to.
Can you talk about that? Like, how do
Yeah.
you do that? Do you put that in the soil?
I
In the
put that
water.
in the water,
The water.
that I pH
What?
prior to watering the water.
Yep.
And
Okay. So
this
should
is
I
when
be
you-
putting that in my water to water my living soil
Yes.
while
That
I'm
is-
watering my clone, my
Yes.
George Clooney
Yes.
that I have at home?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
because this, we don't want to tell you that, but in the front of the pH down, there's a big word in there that they now have to put in big capital letters called acid. Pretty much they're selling you diluted acid, and this is what you're using to pH down.
That's
You know what I mean?
terrible.
Yeah. When you
Again,
could just use
We're
like
trying to
lemon.
change the ways about how we go about it because there's plenty of organic ways to go about pHing down, and you have to understand that it's great and beautiful, and we're able to access and enhance that limonene through that water system to where we're actually able to smell the plant before even it gets into flower.
So she talked about, to your point, she was talking about that in the episode, our mental health episode, about putting lemongrass tea, I think you said.
I
or...
knew you were gonna. I was like, she's gonna remember this. Yeah. So essentially, depending on like the plant you're growing, right? If you know anything about the genetics, you can look at the terp profile, see what like the dominant terps are, and you can enhance your soil with naturally occurring forms of that terpene. So, like limonene, for example.
You can grow some lemon balm.
Yeah.
As a complementary plant right next to.
Or you can make a lemon balm tea and you use that when you're
lemongrass grows next to cannabis. Well,
pretty much
yeah,
you can,
in the same pot, not the same pot.
Not the same
right.
pot,
the same
no,
pot,
but in the same proximity. Yeah, they're very friendly
Huh.
plants. Yeah.
And
They've been
these
lemon balm
terpenes will actually
Lemon
keep
balm.
the bugs away.
Yes.
Lavender, lemon balm, things that are so terpene
Yes.
Heavy and limonene.
heavy, the bugs will honestly stay away from. So this is one of the
And
things that I try
limonene
to
has a
teach some of my
clearing
students
effect, you know?
to just grow complementary plants and
Like
grow them with the
eucalyptus is
plants.
another one we can talk about really quick.
Oh, yes.
Eucalyptal is a terpene, and that one I feel like would do really well with getting bugs away, right?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And it creates natural CO2.
Yeah.
Wow.
While it's growing next to you, so you won't have to replace it with one of those mushroom bags that everybody sells around.
So I know this isn't on the outline, but can we talk about living soil a little bit more, because it's a new idea to me, right? It's a newer. I'm becoming more educated about it. But for those who might want to Google it, can you talk about like what do they need to look for? Because when I Google living soil, it doesn't come up. Like it'll talk about
that's
like
because a lot of people
it
don't
talks about
educate.
compost and worm casings, which I'm seeing a lot. But okay, work castings. So wait a minute. Okay, now I'm going to ask you another question. What is the difference between worm castings and just live worms? I know that has nothing to do with terpenes.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
When it comes to living soil, you actually have to literally hear what it is. It's living soil. So we're pretty much trying to maintain and replicate the soil that's native right outside, that's been native for hundreds, if not thousands of years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Replicating
it
organic
stays
compounds.
moist, it's well aerated.
Oh
because
my
of
gosh,
the
it stays
arbs.
so moist. Not to cut you
Yeah.
off, but I swear to God, because I bought some living soil and I always check it with a moisture reader, and it's always like almost 90%
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
But the clone itself is not, because I don't think it's completely like, I don't know,
It's okay.
immersed
Okay.
into the soil.
Don't worry,
yet or whatever,
we're gonna
but-
get you right, Diana. It's okay.
We're
We're gonna get you together. We're gonna get you.
Okay.
So when it comes to living soil, like I said, we pretty much trying to replicate the outside.
The
as
outside,
much as we can.
That's
Yes.
what I get when I'm
And
going
it's-
through it, and my son loves to dig through it too, because
Oh,
he
I
loves
bet.
to dig
Man.
through dirt and
It's
pick
like
up
a
worms.
great sensory experience because there's so much going on.
does.
Yeah.
And coming back to your second question, in order for it to be living,
Mhm.
you have to have living organisms in the
Correct.
soil. Again, we're trying to replicate the native soil that we have in the backyard. Naturally gets aerated with the worms we create tunnels, which allows it not only for them to go back and into their holes, but allows the earth to breathe, for example, the roots to get oxygen, for everything to just intertwine and just be one full living system, to where we're pretty much having all the nutrients as far as the NPK ratios readily available for the plant instead of any other growing media or style of cultivation to where you have to supplement and keep adding nutrients and vitamins in order to upkeep that style of cultivation to where living soil we're pretty much just
All in
maintaining
one.
the life of the soil to
Mhm.
where everything's readily available.
Right.
The plant pretty much eats what it's gonna eat.
Right.
I also noticed that the critters don't attack the living soil outside like they do the regular soil.
Right. Because of the lack of microorganism colonies that soil has. Outside has been already, like I said, thousands and thousands of years of this already having its own system to
Mhm.
where we're trying to replicate that soil. That's we actually let the soil do its thing over and over again, which is pretty much what we try to teach a sustainable style of cultivation to where you are reusing the soil. You're not letting it dry out. You're not throwing it to the side and letting it rot. We pretty much are reusing the soil to where we're pretty much keeping the pot alive so that we can pretty much plug in that clone and pretty much harvest and feed until week 4 of flower.
I can definitely tell my clone's happy that I put it in there.
Yeah. Your clone's like, I'm home. Finally, we've moved out.
So
Aw.
let's switch gears a little bit
Okay.
to your specialty,
Okay.
spirituality, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about the spiritual connection.
Okay.
I mean, I know you touched on it a little bit, but
Okay.
there's a lot more to go into, right?
There is quite a bit. So I'm going to start overall with I like to preface it if you are someone that's ever taken any sort of spiritual bath, cleanse, or you just have used a lemon a day in your life, okay? Lemons have a fresh and astringent, like a clearing energy, like an astringent. Literally, I think of it like a cooling energy. And spiritually and energetically, it's very much the same. It clears stagnancy, in general, stagnant energy. That's why people clean their homes with lemons or if you don't have something readily available, like some sort of spiritual bath, wash, you can lemon like right down the drains, and every drain you have in your house clears the whole energy in your home. People literally can, same thing with your floors. It also is a clearing, like a clarifying terpene, like spiritually. So it clears out any negative energies, entities, attachments. It's like light. It's literally like the sun. It has a similar spiritual significance because it is a terpene of the sun. So so it uses light and brightness and freshness to dispel evil, essentially. So that's why it's a really uplifting terpene to use spiritually as well. And it's great at maintaining clarity. So it's a good protector also.
What about astrologically? I'm throwing this
Uh-huh.
a wrench into the outline again, but
Okay.
like I'm just
No.
thinking about
That's
because
okay.
I know that you talk a lot about like which signs can kind of align with certain scents and
Right.
fruits and things like that. So
Mhm.
I'm just thinking when you're talking about that, Leos,
Mhm.
right? I feel like limonene would be really great for Leos.
Correct. Yeah, it would be like if I made a terp profile for every zodiac, I there's no other zodiac to think of other than Leo for limonene, which happens to be both of us. Okay, why is that? Because limonene has an associate. Like I said, it's literally considered the terpene of the sun. That's literally it has the same profile. I think of it like I think of Ra, like Egyptian sun god Ra. Anytime I think of terpenes, specifically limonene, that's the energy I imagine. Just dispels any and all evil. It's great. Astrologically for Leos, because Leos have the solar plexus association because they're ruled by the sun, but they're also they rule the heart. So limonene is going to have both of those aspects, again, making it perfect for Leos. Um, Leos also do have a tendency to have like anxiety. We want to be the best. We want to be number one. We want to be on top. So we have issues sometimes with ego. We have issues with like anxiety. Sometimes it's too much mental activity because we're always like go 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 because we are go getters, most of us. So limonene is a great terpene for Leos to use because it helps to stabilize your solar plexus. So which Leos need, like you need it to be balanced. Otherwise, we're either egomaniacs or we're powerless little like lions, like we're like little cubs. So you need that. The solar plexus controls like all of that, your willpower. I also think you ever like when, of course, being a Leo, when we get really anxious or like energetically off, depressed, anything of that nature, we literally lose our willpower. Like we just kind of are stagnant. Like we become, it's like docile cats. Like, you know what I mean? We don't want to do or say anything at all. Limonene removes all of that energy to bring back willpower. So that way you're productive, which is why it's also great at dispelling. Oh, hello. It's also great at dispelling. Come on in. You haven't made it to the third floor yet. There's film in there in that bag. Yes.
This is a test shot.
Okay, do a test shot. We're filming, guys. Like, give us 1 second. Okay.
Hey.
Have a cookie.
Yeah, have a cookie. We have hibiscus lemonade, which you're gonna be in the camera if you'd like. Come on in. Now, like I said, for Leos, incredible terpene to utilize because it will keep your solar plexus cleansed and balanced. And that's a very important trait for Leos. Otherwise, we turn into egomaniacs, and nobody likes an angry lion running around stressed out, anxious, all of that. And we're prone to anxiety.
Just ask my husband. Am
Yeah.
I right?
Yeah. You can ask this one. They're just making it. Okay. It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it.
Right.
Okay?
So we talked about balance. So to that point, what other terpenes, either one of you can answer this,
sure,
would pair well in your opinion with limonene?
With limonene, what do you think?
Personally, I'm always going to try to pair it with like a myrcene.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just because of the sedative effects. And just like what I just pretty much said, it's an uplifting terpene. And it's one of those terpenes, right, that once it works your solar plexus and you're on the positive side, and you have that shield around you and you have that light around you, you have no choice but to, it's one of those terpenes that pretty much enhances other terpenes.
Correct.
So it has no choice but to get you to where it gets you focused. It brightens up your mood, right? After it fixes that solar plexus. But you have that, like you just said, you have that clarity where you're like, you got that energy.
Brainstorms, right? That's when the brainstorms happen for me.
Correct.
Right?
Like you're also calm.
Yes.
So it's like, it's a perfect mix. Like
for me, I agree with you 100%.
I would say, I was going to say the same terpene, limonene, and myrcene, only because myrcene is one of the terpenes that helps with the permeability, like cell permeability. So it helps THC get through like the blood brain barrier quicker.
Right.
And as a result, it can like, limonene and myrcene can kind of double team and come through together. Like they slip through. So it enhances the effect, and nobody doesn't not want the pain-free effect, like the sedative effect of myrcene. Most people want that. They're seeking that when they're, engaging in any sort of if they're using a certain flower of sort. They're
Right.
usually, or if you're using myrcene in general, that's typically what you're aiming for.
Right, because
But
it's found. I think it's like one of the most common.
it's one of the most
It's one of
common.
the
That was
most
the
common.
first one in our series, and I literally said it's the most common. So I was
Right.
like, this is everyone's favorite. But limonene is going to most people. I feel like when they're using limonene, if they're using it with some sort of intention, it is literally for the mental health aspect. So they're trying to get an uplifting or clarity sensation or renewing sensation quickly. Like we're not trying to be depressed forever. We want to try.
Right.
It's not going to be immediate, but utilizing it with myrcene will help you uptake the benefits of that quicker than without.
I mean, limonene does have pain relief.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Properties, and I like
I'm
them
a
both.
myrcene girl.
I like myrcene and limonene for both, like together. And and if you have no idea what we're talking about, you have at least heard the rumor that you could eat mangoes before smoking, and it will increase your experience. Because mangoes are chock full of myrcene.
Yes,
terpenes.
They are.
But surprisingly, there are other ones that I found when I was doing research that I was like, what? Really? I think it was rosemary or something.
Mm-hmm. Rosemary also has a limonene profile too.
Oh,
so
maybe
that's why when you said that's why I was thinking of that. I'm like, that is like immediately the first thing I think of is rosemary.
So I wonder though, if you can eat mangoes before you consume to increase it, why can't you eat like a lime before you use the limonene strain?
I mean, who says you can? You can. It would have the similar amplifying effect, but no one's gonna eat a lime typically before. They might drink some lemonade or something, something like that. That would be ideal. That would be something that's very ideal.
Does hibiscus have? I mean, obviously, I'm sure it has terpenes, but I didn't even look to see what terpenes were in hibiscus.
So, honestly, hibiscus is going to have. Is it? It's not renewable.
It's called osamine.
That's it, osamine.
Like
yeah.
Floral terpene. That's pretty much where you would put roses, hibiscus, and those.
Speaking of hibiscus, really quickly though, we have an amazing episode featuring this one right here about hibiscus, and it's like seriously one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, thank you. I watched it and I agree, but I'm biased. So.
All right, so you already talked about. Did you talk about chakras yet?
I touched on chakras, but
we touched on it.
We touched on it, but again, limonene is going to be associated with the solar plexus, which is going to be this region, okay, like slightly above the navel.
What color?
It's going to typically have an orange or yellow vibration, frequency, depending on your abilities. To me, looking at certain individuals, it can be slightly different, to be honest. But orange or yellowish,
You can see, like you can do. I know you talked about being able to do a chakra.
Oh yeah, I read auras. Yeah, I do.
What's mine like?
It's funny because yours is
doing that right now.
Well, yes, because I'm like, I'll do a live aura read. I will. I used to do those. I probably should bring those back. I probably should. There's if anyone's in the chat that's ever had an aura reading from me, you guys can tell. People love it. They're very good. I suggest you all get one. Not necessarily even for me, but just get one in general. Now, limonene is going to be associated with the solar plexus chakra. That's going to control your willpower, determination, confidence. So when people are very timid, it also controls like the fear. It's like your fear center, which fear is very low frequency. We are trying to dispel fear here on earth. We're not trying to embrace it. So limonene is going to come in like a blast of light from the sun, and it just dispels fear from your system. So it starts to alleviate anxiety. When people have like low sense of worth, that's coming from a disturbed solar plexus chakra. If you don't have any sort of ambition, willpower, you're just blah. That's a solar plexus issue for sure. So limonene is going to
have all the issues.
Well, being a Leo, it is typically hello. Hi. Being a Leo, it's going to you are typically going to have issues with your solar plexus chakra.
You can still come in.
Yeah, you guys can come in. Yeah.
It's a live recording.
Yeah. It's either going to be as a Leo, your solar plexus chakra or the heart chakra. Most Leos have heart issues, or they have chronic anxiety or power issues, all of that. Solar plexus. The limonene is associated with that. It's literally like the sun. It has solar energy.
I'm thinking of the other one that's orange right now. What's the other one that's orange? The other chakra.
Are you thinking of the sacral chakra?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
sacral.
I
It
think
can.
that's where I was like, wait a minute. So
Hmm.
what's because my friend Shonda told me that I needed to work on my sacral one,
Yeah.
and so I wear orange as much as possible.
I yeah. I'll give you a good scan when we're done. Diana. I will. I'll give you a good scan. Well, because I like to do aura readings primarily for energetic scans, because then I can from there give like proactive spiritual prescriptions. You know, it's easier than
Yeah.
sometimes going into full channel readings. Yeah, come get you some.
Do you have any
There's
questions?
ice over at the bar if you guys want to get more ice, and then they
Yeah.
have
And there's some cookies
Yep,
there because
cookies
we're
there.
talking about terpenes right now.
Yeah.
And we're talking about limonene,
Limonene,
limonene.
But
So we have some cookies to emphasize that experience to go along with the
now
drink.
I'm thinking the sacral region, like not that lime. You can use limonene still just to clear, balance the energy in your body, right? But if it's a sacral like imbalance, try utilizing like jasmine or orris root. Um, Hibiscus would be good too, believe it or not. Um, Primarily because you're a woman, so we're gonna go with more Venus, feminine ruled herbs to balance that out.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what type of person should refrain from using limonene? Do you think that's even does that person exist? Because I know, like pinene, for example, which we've talked about already,
tweak you out,
right?
Yeah.
But I also know some people that just love it. And
Yeah.
they thrive, and I don't know how they do that, but that's people who just really like those really high energy strains. I don't need that in my life.
Right. I have enough energy.
Exactly,
Really, actually, I need all the myrcene
yeah.
that's available to me. That's what I need, actually. That's literally what I need. Is there someone? Would you think? Would you? What would you say, babe? Someone that I feel like that's more prone to. I don't feel like there's anyone that can't benefit from limonene. It's such a clearing and like it's not abrasive, so it's not going to come in and clear too more than it needs to. But it's literally one of the main harm. I try to. I think I told you before. I'm a Kemetic practitioner, so the sun, solar god Ra. There, we have a principle that we stand on Ma'at. Okay, Ma'at, goddess Ma'at. She's the goddess of harmony, balance. We love Ma'at. Okay, um, this limonene brings in the energy of Ma'at, so it's complete balance. So it's not gonna. It's almost like being a what's the word I'm looking for? It'll always keep you at homeostasis. So I feel
Let's
like
talk about that really
there's
quickly,
not
because
anyone that can't benefit from it. I don't feel like
I
there's
mean,
a negative.
I agree. We all need the homeostasis, but there's a lot of people who don't understand what that means. They're like, "What are you talking
So
about?"
homeostasis is essentially the fancy word of saying bringing a human body or a living organism to balance. Okay, from an internal aspect, I'm going to look at it holistically. So I'm looking at the whole energetic body, not just your physical body, spiritual body. But homeostasis is being at complete balance within the body. Everything is functioning very well at its ideal settings, if you will. Like whatever that is for your body, that's homeostasis. Okay, being at balance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that explainer. I mean, I know what it means.
But yeah. I try to because if I go into the whole biological breakdown, I feel like people glass over. So it's your body being at balance, being at its ideal state, the healthiest, the most harmonious state for your body. Okay, internally and externally.
So let's switch it back to strains again. How do you determine like which strains need to have a stronger limonene profile, or do you just put it in everything?
Honestly, this depends on the cultivar.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends if I'm chasing that terpene.
Oh. What does that mean?
Like if you're trying to really enhance or draw that out.
When you start to breed or start to cross or start to create a new genetic, that individual pollen is going to be dominant on one terpene and one terpene. So you won't be able to determine that terpene unless you breed or cross two different genetics so that you could be able to see, hey, is this the dominant terpene? Because you have to be able to grow it healthy, test it, and be able to see, okay, this does have limonene because both of these are carrying the limonene for primary. You get what I'm saying? So it's like unless you pretty much go through the process and see, hey, this pollen is dominated on this terpene. Unless you go through the process, you won't be able to determine that. It's one of those things that it's one of like
This is
experience.
where knowing your cultivars or your genetics, where they're being derived from, is really
seeds,
important.
right?
Correct. Yes. That's why that is really important. So
because I'm using the word strain, and I know a lot of cultivators do not like that term because it's not bacteria. It's not a disease.
it's not bacteria.
Like, yeah. Technically, you're supposed to say cultivar, right? When you're talking about the strain. So then when you're saying cultivar, you're also talking about the seed, the genetics.
Correct.
Right.
Because when we're
well,
talking
obviously
about
that's
cultivar, I'm
that
talking
all
about individual cultivars because it's not nobody else's.
Yeah.
So like,
and I use the term interchangeably just because not everyone understands cultivar. So I say genetics.
It's more of like cultivar because there will never be even though you may have the same cross, it will never look like mine.
Yeah, it's not going to express that. No one expression is the same. It's like it's like siblings. You know what I mean? Like they can have the same parents, but everybody looks a little different. You know what I mean?
Like literally the same thing Frankie said when
yeah,
we did.
Literally, that's what it's. If anyone is taking biology at all, like basic, very basic genetics in any sort of way, that's literally the same concept essentially. Yeah. Yeah, so you can definitely enhance it, but like you said, unless I'm chasing a certain terpene, like I really want to enhance. I know this particular genetic or cultivar has a high limonene profile. I'm gonna go after that. But if it doesn't, I don't know why I keep thinking about Tangy. Like if anyone's ever had the strain Tangy,
yes,
that is like one of the best for the limonene profile. You will be so happy when you're done with that one. Like I'm always like, I don't even know if I'm coming or going. It's great. So it's that's a good one, but that's one where I would really chase that terpene. You know what I'm saying? I really would because it has such a citrusy expression already.
So when you're saying chase it, just to make it clear, you mean like when you're growing
Enhance it, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like when I'm
find ways to
like
supplement.
If I have another strain that's let's say high in carefulline and it has that peppery taste, if I was to breed that with something that has like the tangy, right, which is so much citrusy, so much citrusy, doesn't you can't really smell no other.
Yeah.
If I was to breed that, the mixture of the both are gonna be almost like 50-50. It's gonna look more like the tangy side, and some are gonna look like it's gonna look like
something
the dad.
With carefulline. You didn't
the
say.
other one's gonna look like the mom. So it's pretty much just about which cultivar are you chasing more towards limonene side, carefulline side, dad side.
So like if in that case, like mom's a limonene, dad's carefulline, and we mix them and we make a limonene carefulline baby, right? If I want, of course, don't do this with humans now, but with this particular plant, if I know these are the two dominant terps, I want to express the limonene profile more. That's when I'm going to do things like making sure I'm growing lemon balm next to this plant, or I'm making sure I feed the soil with like teas with lime, lemon, pHing down with limes, lemons, etc. I would make sure I enhance the soil.
Can we talk about that again a little bit?
So when
you say that, because I'm afraid to put too much lemon, do you squeeze a whole lemon into the water and then pour it? Like, what is your?
Correct. Since I try to teach my students,
I know overwatering is always an issue.
I try to tell my students to pretty much pH down because the way the natural living soil works is soil's pH is naturally going to increase. Roots are getting a lot more oxygen worms that are being developed. So once you're able to determine and see, hey man, this plant's pH increases 0.7 on average of every single day. So if it is, let's say it's 6.0 today, I know tomorrow it's going to be 6.7. And the day after that, it's going to be 7.4. You get what I'm saying? Because it's an increase of just a 0.7 on the average day. Now, if I know that,
Mm-hmm.
just me knowing that basis, I'm going to pH low, right, between 4 to 4.5. So when I get the water into the roots and the soil's pH is 7, I'm watering with the 4, it'll bring it and balance it to where you'll be right there in the feeding range between 6.1 to 6.5. Everything is readily available. Pretty much are like, all right, what are the factors actually being worked on in the soil and how can we use that for our advantage? We understand that it naturally increases. Let's lower the pH naturally, which is what we do to pH water. We pH our water with the lemons prior to watering it
Okay.
in. So you pretty much have a put your pH
I
meter in
see.
there,
Yeah.
Read it.
squeeze it.
Mhm.
It's about a half lemon on a 5-gallon bucket should bring it right around
Half of a
4.5.
lemon in a 5-gallon bucket. Half a lemon.
Half a lemon. You don't need no more than that.
Squeeze.
All right. Well, you're an herbalist,
Yes.
so let's talk about how terpenes exist in things that are not cannabis for
Right.
those who don't
Yes.
use, and how they can use that to, benefit themselves.
Okay, so the
I know there are a lot. And
Yeah.
we're not covering a lot. But
Right.
just,
The benefits are going to be very similar to if you were indulging in if you're someone that even is using cannabis for that purpose, because that's what we're trying to get you guys to. A lot of people are not there yet, but that's what we're trying to get you. But terpenes occur in fruits, resins, plants, herbs, trees. It occurs in a lot of other natural substances, right? So, limonene, for example, is going to have the highest profile in citrus fruits, but particularly in the peels too. So, like when I make a hibiscus lemon, I actually do steep like orange peels in it, like dried orange peels to enhance it, lemon leaves, some actual lemon like rind, all of that. So, you're able to get terpenes from various, being an herbalist, I'm going to search for certain herbs for certain profiles I'm looking for. So if I have someone that comes to me and they don't want to engage in or indulge in cannabis, they want to use just completely herbal remedies minus cannabis. Obviously.
Yeah, right.
Minus cannabis, which I can't imagine why you want to do
I
that.
know.
Say that's what they want to do. I will then locate various herbs that are going to correspond with that terpene naturally. So, like we're discussing limonene, so we'll stay on that topic. Lemon balm, for example, lemongrass, peppermint. Believe it, I know most people are like, "Wow, mint," but peppermint does have a pretty decent
right.
limonene
Yeah,
profile.
I was going to say, I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah,
Peppermint.
rosemary also. Ginger in small amounts as well. So there's a lot of different. When we get into fruits, we have the oranges, we have lemons, we have limes, tangerines, all those citrusy fruits. Okay, these are different organisms, organic compounds. You can actually get this organic compound from rather than just cannabis. So,
Correct.
I'm trying to think, like if someone
back into what you just said, it's almost like what you said earlier about limonene, where it's such a like a cleanser. It cleanses negative energies
astringent.
away.
Yep.
So you can pretty much these are pretty much the primary reasons of why they pretty much put them in your drink so that you can be able to cleanse and clean
Yes.
your drink. You know what I mean? Bring the lightness
Clearing
into it,
energy.
just in case anything happens. It's
I
one of those
mean,
things. It's like it's there, but it's more for.
I never thought about that.
I feel like
I usually take it out of my
yeah. Well, also limonene, it helps open up detox pathways in your body. So that's the reason I would think that too. It would be here served traditionally with. This is a mocktail. This is a non-alcoholic place. I don't know anything about the devil juice they drink. I don't know. I don't drink. So there's that. I don't know anything about it, guys. I'm sorry, but I would think that that's the reason for it is because of the open pathways it creates. That's why you can put it in like when you're sick or something. They encourage you to have lemon, fresh lemon, lemon water, lemon and hot water. Water. So, I'm trying to say it normal. I'm from New Jersey, guys. I can't help it. That is why, because it helps promote open and detox pathways in the body. So it's also a liver friendly terpene too, a lot like hibiscus. That's why I always pair them together because They're like a good duo.
And we touched on rosemary earlier.
Rosemary,
but like,
yes.
you know, some easy ways to incorporate terpenes in your life if you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Orange peel.
You know, doing like a rosemary sage tea that you can use for your hair or your face. I like to put them in ice cubes, like make them into ice cubes and put them on my face in the morning. But it's great for my hair and my scalp health. Yes. And I do like little scalp massages, but it's also, you can use it to clean your house. And I mean, there are so many different ways. I think that you can it's boost the terpene.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. Like a lot of people use essential oils. They'll run. You mentioned incense, which a lot of, you know, like I love a citrus incense. I don't know which one you use, but maybe we can suggest that later for you guys. So other like aromatic complementary efforts too, that'll help enhance these terpenes.
You do like a boil. What do they call them?
Like the face steams.
The ones that you put the pot on with the water and the lemon, and just it makes your whole house smell good.
Yeah, a steam pot, a simmer pot.
Simmer pot.
A simmer pot. Yep.
It works really well if you remember that you have it on your oven and you don't let it burn.
Yeah. Well, you know what I do actually, believe it or not, every time I make lemonade, I take all the lemons that I use, like, you know, that are there, and I throw them in a pot, like, and I boil it, and I just like literally smoke cleanse my house with it, walk through it. It clears everything out. It's amazing.
Oh,
that's so again
idea.
Because limonene is going to promote energy removal of stagnant energy or negative, low level, or evil energy.
That's probably why it's in so many cleaning products.
Yes, correct. Exactly. Yeah. It expels evil. It dispels. It's literally like the sun. Just think of it like a sun blast. It dispels darkness, like anything not of light. Yeah.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Yeah, right.
Uh-huh. So you mean like after you boil them, he then uses them for... Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're so, honestly, it's so hard to extract. Like, you should see when I have them, I'm like, whenever I make this, I have so many lemons, and I'm like, I don't even want to part with these. I want to store them or something, but you can only keep them so long. You know what I mean? Because there's so much oil you can extract from the lemon, like itself, like the peel, the rind. Like, it's also good if you rub it on your lips. Like, take lemons, it's really good. Yeah, it's good. Like it actually
it's astringent too.
It's a great softener, like a scrub. It keeps your lips nice and smooth. Yeah. So if you guys don't want to buy lip scrubs, lemon, a little turmeric, ground it up on there. Ooh, thank me later. It does help with the dark lips if that happens. It also just is really good. It makes them like soft and pink. Like it's full. I haven't used like a regular scrub in ages. I just used that. That's it. I used some earlier. I have my little lemons to the side for face stuff that I'm going to use because I waste not, want not, you know?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do. I have some lemons for you for compost too.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Try to be as much sustainable as possible.
Yeah, I love that. All right, well, tell people where they can find you.
Okay, guys. Well, for those that we have 2 cameras here, so guys, I'm not unaware of my talking points. I'm just looking at 2 cameras. Okay. So for Substack here, hi. You guys can find me on here, Tashiana the Sun Goddess. Also Instagram Live. We're on Instagram. I see the chat going a little bit, but y'all know I'm blind as a bat. So as I'm squinting, I know someone's going to make fun of me for this later. Instagram, you guys know where to find me, Tashiana the Sun Goddess. I'm primarily on Substack and Instagram. You can find me on Snapchat as well, the same name, or visit my website, TashianaTheSunGoddess.com. Or if you need me for cannabis-related questions, you can find myself and my better half at cloudculturemembers.com or Cloud Culture Members on IG and Substack as well.
Yes, and for your crowd, please check out Getting Personal with Plant Medicine podcast on any platform that you listen to podcasts. We just recently did an amazing episode, as I said, about hibiscus with Tosh.
And I expect everyone to watch it.
And there will be another one coming up, too.
It's so good. And I'm not just saying it because it is good because it's me. But it's so good. Go watch it. It's a great
It's so
episode.
good that I said come back and do another episode immediately, and we have another one coming out very shortly about mental
You
health.
know what I didn't know? I hate to interrupt, but I didn't know that this was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Did you know that?
No.
Like last month was Mental Health Awareness. I did not know that. So, gentlemen, we this is going to be an upcoming episode on mental health. And I feel like
timing.
it's perfect timing. So I feel like you guys will really benefit from that. And I'll probably do a little something special for the men. I feel like I don't talk to you guys enough, so we have something to help you guys with your mental health this month. I'll be tapping in with you all.
They need all the help they can get.
Yes, but if you have not already, we're on all platforms, Getting Personal with Plant Medicine, the most recent episode featuring myself, and we're talking about the power of hibiscus. Hibiscus, which is this beautiful lemonade here. We have hibiscus lemonade. What else? Is there anything else? Anything else we have going on?
We'll come back.
I feel like that's it. That's it, guys. Make sure
do
you
have
follow
your- do you
Diana,
wanna talk
please.
about your classes that are coming up in August? Or
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
next
man.
cohort?
Oh man. Well, I don't want to say when it officially is going to start because we're pretty much getting this last draw that we're currently on pretty much ends in mid-July.
Mm-hmm.
So saying August is that's kind of like a little too soon.
Okay.
Kind of like
Yeah.
It's my birthday month, guys.
Give people
Diana's
like a
too,
month or two so they can get their supplies. So I like to make sure I give out a basic list of needs. They'll pretty much be able to just keep up with what everybody else is doing. So I want to give everybody a little bit of time. I also want to give everybody a little bit of time as far as when I'm gonna pass out the seeds because I usually pass them out too early and then everybody pops them out whenever they want. It's like we're trying to pretty much keep it all together.
On schedule.
On schedule.
So as of now, we're thinking towards the end of August, beginning of September.
Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
For our next cloud
I
grow
cannot
off.
wait because I'm joining that one.
Yes.
Teach you from seed all the way to cure. Weekly classes. We're going to be doing them on Sundays. Sundays. The classes. So that's just for people out there trying to make sure they get off Sundays. Be on the lookout for Sundays.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me again. And by the way, I guess we should mention that we are at Root City Kava.
Yeah, we should mention
We are at Root City Kava. For anyone wondering, this is a live broadcast. We're going from Root City Kava Bar and Lounge.
Maryland's only Kava bar.
Only for the woman that argued with me on Threads. This is the only Kava bar in Maryland. Okay, like I said the other day. It's incredible. You guys have to come. It's a beautiful space, 3 levels, 917 Cathedral Street. If you're not here, and I'm not sure why you're not. I mean, maybe you're at work, which is important. You could be, right. Which is important.
Who has regular jobs anymore?
There's just that. But please stop by if you guys can. Again, if you guys can see this, Root City, we'll make sure we tag them here. Root City Kava Bar and Lounge. I'm drinking a Brainwave right now. Non-alcoholic beverages only. Okay, come catch a vibe with no alcohol, which is something this city very much needs. So everybody come through. I want to see everybody this summer. And watch our hibiscus episode because that is going to be the herb of the summer. It's hot. Hibiscus is a cooling herb and it'll help you stay cool in the event our power goes out or something to that effect. Oof. Not that I have that. not that. But those, I am psychic, and this is a prediction I've had for a while. So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try and stick.
We'll end on a positive note.
We're gonna end on a positive note. If you guys have hibiscus in your home, you won't be hot when the power goes out. True. Positive note. Okay.
There you go. Look on the upside.
On the upside.
I'll be coming to your house and drinking.
Please, yes, I'll probably still have this in here.
It's like a whole summer supply.
The whole summer supply. Man, yeah, guys, this stuff goes fast.
All right, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for having us, Diana. Dang, what was your drink again?
Peace.
Bye, guys. Diana, will you say bye to my audience or